This is Boxing Tickets NI, and we're joined with the mighty cult, Tyrone McKenna. How are you,
What's
Tyrone?
happening? Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm all good. Just chilling before I have to pack. I hate packing. Obviously I'm going to Dubai tomorrow to fly from my fight, so busy day today.
And anybody that knows yourself probably knows you're going to forget something. So, what sort
Yeah,
of plans
exactly.
do you have?
Proper panic. And I'll turn up in the wrong airport and everything. Um, I've done a wee notes of everything I need. I think I need. So I've got a checklist. Usually I don't do checklists, but today I do. So
And
hopefully
what way do you go about it packing? Sometimes you always pack and then you go, if I forgot something, then you do your bag again. So you set everything to the side and then at the last minute put it in.
That always happens. But to be honest, my missus usually does the packing and I just oversee it.
As long
Yeah.
as you have the passport and you get to the right airport, that's all that matters.
That's it. Fake gear and passport, that's all I really need. All everything else is just or extras.
And you're not be taking the Xbox with you, will you?
No, don't you worry about that. We've got a possible quarantine for 10 days, so I'll be needing that Xbox.
Definitely would. Funny, it's been something I've been noticing a lot. You bought one of like the wee carry case things for the Xbox so you can game down in Dublin and stuff as well.
That is probably see when I was buying it, people were laughing at me going, "You waste money." That was probably the best investment I ever had. It's got a wee TV built into it. It's got all the wiring built into it, and it's just so easy to lift and bring on anywhere you're going. And I travel loads, so it's ideal. I
Definitely,
love
it's
it.
probably the best money you've spent, and obviously your time of boxing, and obviously with what you do.
100% of it here helps count big time, so it's always a bonus.
I've sort of noticed obviously quite a lot of fighters now. I think was it Maxie Hughes? I think in the bubble last week, I think he had about 15 games and stuff with him. At the end of the day, it helps you chill out and relax and forget about fighting.
Like bubbles are sitting in a hotel room is not too bad when you've got uh, like my Xbox having Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, and then Call of Duty and all them games, and also it's not too bad. Life's sweet.
It definitely is, and obviously, a week out now from the fight, I would probably say, in my opinion, probably your most important fight to date. I know you had the golden contract final with Ohara Davies, but in the Turarov fight, it's given you the chance to get back to probably the stage where you're at, fighting for the same belt when you fought Jack Harrell. So it's given you a
Yeah,
massive platform to rebuild.
that's exactly what Pete said. Not about. I don't think I'm rebuilding because I think I done well the last fight, and a lot of people thought I won it. So I don't know if the rebuilds are outward, but Pete is agreeing with you. Like he said, he probably thinks it's a bigger fight than Ohara Davies. Because not because he got beat, but because he's got a WBO Inter-Contential. Like it's a top 10 or top 5 in the world, and then you can start knocking on the door for a world title. And obviously, that's the main goal. So it's just a bit, if not bigger than the Ohara Davies suit. Obviously, the Ohara Davies suit was just for my own belt, the WBC International. This is a better belt. It's a bigger belt. It's a more prestigious belt, and it does get you knocking on doors for the world title. So, and it's a tough fight as well. Like, don't get me wrong, Turov's, I've watched him a lot, and he looks strong. He looks smart and slick, and he looks like a very skillful boxer and a very smart boxer. But I think he has a lot of flaws and a lot of bad habits, and I think my style and the way I fight, the way I'm going to fight, creates a lot of problems for Turov.
And he's at a bit of an activity and stuff as well. So
Yeah,
you've been pretty
I think
active.
inactivity is a silent killer for boxers. I don't care how if in then 2 years he's still trained flat out for 2 years or he's sparring away. Inactivity in a fight is massive. Like you can't replicate or replace fighting an actual fight, even if you spar every day. So I think he's going to be more nervous than usual because he hasn't fought in 2 years. This is his biggest fight as well. This is a big occasion. I think that might get them, and I don't care how much, as I said, how much sparring you've done. When it comes to fighting fitness, it's a completely different thing. You need to be active to have that, and he hasn't been active. Even before that last fight, before this last 2 years, when he's been inactive, he only had 1 or 2 fights, and he was 2 years inactive before then as well. So basically, he's had 2 fights in 4 years. So that's very, very inactive. There's obviously reasons for it, whether he's not living the life, or he's not mentally ready for fights, or he gets a lot of injuries and he's not right. Maybe going into this fight, who knows? But he's getting older, and he needs to start taking chances and taking fights. And I think he's too big a fight, too big a step up for how long he's took off.
And probably, and him fighting you as well, it's his biggest test to take. Does he speak any English?
Nah, I don't think so. He doesn't. I've watched a few interviews of him, and he always has a translator with him. So, no, I don't think he speaks English, but he doesn't need to speak English for Rufus.
but I guess obviously sometimes, you've always been well known to sort of have a bit of talk and things in press conferences. It's a bit harder when they can't understand you.
It is. You have to be a bit more, I don't know, wittier, and like the one we're at a press conference with Mamoon, he couldn't speak English, and I still crack the jokes and done stuff like that. But you obviously can't go talking shit about a guy that can't speak your language, because that's a bit sly. So yeah, it will be a different kind of press conference. But I mean, I don't have any bad blood towards Turarov. I don't really know him, so there won't be any. I don't think any blabbering on him.
I guess obviously for maybe people watching back home, it's to give them a bit of banter, and probably tough times for people with the whole pandemic. So there's going to be no flashy suits or anything this time. It's obviously you and your baby brother Tyrone, obviously with the suits and stuff on before.
Nah, sure. Chris Suiter's closed, so no suits getting made for this one. But look, the press conferences will still be fun. The week of the fight will still be fun. I'll still be entertaining, hopefully. And 100%, I know for a fact this fight's going to be entertaining. I've got war mentality going into it, and I believe that's what the fight's going to be. It's going to be blood, sweat, and tears, and the tears won't be mine.
And it's the old term we're used to, that if you're not cutting a fight, it's not a good fight.
That's 100%.
We've seen obviously both eyes. Obviously, you can see the damage in your eyes from the past. Obviously, yeah. But like after the Ohara Davies fight, everybody, like even myself, I thought you'd have won. Ohara was doing what he'd done against Catterall, pretty much didn't want to fight, and it sometimes, that probably you would have just loved to get stuck in there and been stuck on his toes pretty much the whole fight. So losing that, you've still got an opportunity to come back, but probably the frustration of not winning it now is going to G you on more for this fight.
Yeah, well, I think I learned a lot in that fight, where you can't take you winning the fight for granted. I was in that fight and was going to round 8, 9, 10. I just thought I've won this fight handy. So you can't take that for granted. You don't know what the judges are seeing. And also that judges don't like, funny enough, they're in boxing, but they don't like people to box. So they like people to go forward and just have a slugfest and have a war, which I love, so I don't care. That's what I fucking love doing every day. So it just made me realize that you have to put the pressure on. Especially being in the way corner, you have to bring the fight, and that's what I'll be doing. Yeah.
And like anybody was sort of being critical, sort of, of maybe not being more engaged. I think sometimes people forget that Ohara Davies has a lot of power in his right hand, so he could have probably walked on to something.
Not even that. See, Ohara Davies, see the way he stands, it's hard to actually get into him, because if you get too close, he grabs onto you. If you're too far away, he's such long arms that you can't get into him, and he won't engage enough for you to get in. So he's playing a fight where it's very negative. It doesn't look like it's negative because he's walking forward, but it is negative because he's throwing shots and he's trying to grab and stuff. So it's hard to get your shots off. That's one thing he does well. He creates it to be very awkward to land your own shots. But it annoyed me that I couldn't engage as much as I wanted, and because I thought I was winning the fight, I didn't want to engage as much because he does have a big right hand, and I didn't want to take a risk when I thought I'm cruising this fight. But afterwards, not regretted, but I wish I had have maybe put pressure on him and went toe to toe and went to war, because I think I would have won it that way, and I would have enjoyed it more. I think leaving that ring, I felt like I had more to offer still. I had more that I could give, and like that annoyed me the most. That I could have done another 4 or 5 rounds. That's what annoyed me. I should have been balanced at the end of the fight and give it all, but I didn't because I thought I won it.
And I guess obviously if that was in Belfast in the SSE or in the Ulster Hall, it'd have been a totally different, because no matter what tactics people to give you, you would have done your own thing. I
know, I understand. Like, if there was a crowd there, I'd have probably went toe to toe from round 1 to 10, but there was no crowd. That was another thing, it was just weird. But I know I need to get out of that mentality where I had in the last one, where I thought, this is weird, feels like a spar, it's not really for anything. And if this fight's going to be the same, there's going to be no crowd. So I need to get out of that. I believe I have got out of that mentality, that I know everything's on the line here. This is a massive fight, massive opportunity, and I need to treat it that way.
And obviously, sort of, as I say, we don't want to sort of go back too much on obviously the past and things like that, but it's nearly 3 years, obviously, since you were last on one of Frampton's cards, and no matter what you do in the rest of boxing now, Carl's creating history in this card. You're always going to want to go, I was there. You've won over Tommy.
Yeah. Well,
Tommy McCarthy seemed to think that you copy him, so you're going to have won over him when you.
That's the complete opposite. He copied me, but yeah, look, not very many people will be able to say that they were there for the Carl Frampton historic night. Only a handful of people, so it's unbelievable. And not only that, I'm fighting co-main event on it. Front row ticket to see Carl Frampton beat Jamel Herring is unbelievable. It's priceless. People who pay thousands and thousands of pounds to watch it. So I'm very, very lucky in that way. But obviously I'll be focusing on my fight most of all. But after my fight, straight out, probably want to get changed, probably want to get charged, straight out, watch Carl Frampton and see him create history. It's unbelievable.
Definitely is. And obviously I know you're a big fight fan and stuff yourself, regardless normally, but it's 7 days out, you probably start getting a buzz now of not even for your own fight, but they watch that fight and you're going, I can't believe it's so close. We've been there, sort of supposed to happen in February, obviously it's supposed to happen May of last year, but now we've got there, it's been delayed, and it's just delaying obviously what we always thought was going to happen, that Carl's going to become a 3-weight king.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm not even buzzing yet. I think I'll be buzzing more when I get over to Dubai. Get COVID tested through, get weighed in, and then you're proper buzzing for the fights. But at the minute, I'm just thinking about food and thinking about getting over there and getting adjusted to the time zone and stuff like that. But I am buzzing for that fight, and I'm buzzing for my own fight and buzzing for the whole show. So yeah, just can't wait that's on the way.
It definitely was. And I say I think 3 years ago when you fought in this card, I think it was Anthony Upton you fought, obviously at a fellow Belfast man, and that was a brave, decent fight as well. So it's obviously you're unbeaten on obviously Carl's show, so it's staying that way come next Saturday.
That's it. I was staying that way. It's 100% staying that way.
I'm full of positive vibes today. Obviously, the good thing with this fight as well is, Josh Taylor and Ramirez are fighting for all the belts in May. Obviously, this is going to put you're probably not thinking of past this fight as yet, but winning this fight can obviously put you in a really, really good position to potentially fight for a vacant title.
Yeah, 100. I have thought about it. Don't you worry. So all the way through the camp, I've been thinking, like, when I beat Turarov for this title, I'll be, say, for talk's sake, 6th in WBO. They vacated all their belts because they're moving up weight. That's a vacant belt in WBO. Jack Kettle's number 1. He's a British fighter. I'm MTK. He's MTK. Why not make a rematch happen? The first fight was unbelievable. So at 100%, is what I'm thinking is going to happen. So I need to win this fight, make things happen for myself.
Yep, exactly. And I say it's probably similar to Tommy. You know, Tommy's obviously his fight coming up in May, but he's potentially one fight away from fighting a world title, and you could be the same. He's could both be fighting for world title in Belfast at the end of the year.
We're saying we're like, fuck me. Me and Tommy could be fighting for world title by the end of this year, and it's exciting. I mean, I've been friends with Tommy and boxing with Tommy since I was 10 years old, and to have the potential to fight, if all goes well in our next fights, to fight for like maybe a world title at the end of the year there, it'd be unbelievable. So I need to win this fight. That's that'll be going through my head during this. I need to win this fight.
But like even when you look at the super lightweights in the UK, you know, in the UK rankings, obviously on Boxrec, there's 6 of these in the top 25 in the world on the rankings. Does that not probably show how strong the super lightweight division is?
I mean, that's a hard weight. Obviously Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor. So they're all unbelievable. It's an unbelievable top 6, as you say, and any one of them fights interests me. I'm excited for any one of them fights. But obviously, not looking ahead of who I want to fight straight after this fight. But I mean, there is a lot of possibilities for great fights after this.
Yep, definitely. Let's get next week over the line. Obviously on the Taylor Ramirez fight coming up, obviously Josh too much for Ramirez, or what way can you see that going?
I think it's a legal fight. But I think Josh is just better IQ and better variety. I think Ramirez does one or not. He doesn't have not much variety as Josh Taylor. Like Josh Taylor can box, he can fight, he can do inside work, he can do long distance. I think Ramirez is just good at like maybe pushing back and going being aggressive and stuff. He doesn't really have as much variety, and I think that's what's going to tell. Josh Taylor's lethal. It's a tough fight, but I think Josh Taylor wins on points.
It's one of these things that, you know, this year we've 2 potential, obviously, you know, belts all on the line. You know, you Fury, AJ potentially being done. You've Taylor Ramirez being done. It's setting a new precedent in boxing where you didn't get people fighting for all the belts in one division before, and now it's become the case of going. It's nearly going to be like Conor McGregor done the UFC. You'll fight for 2 weight classes for all the belts, nearly it'll get to the stage.
Yeah, like what you want in boxing is the one belt, the one real champion, and this is the way they create it for someone to win all the belts. So it's nice to see my weight is going to be an actual one-person champion. Same in the heavyweight division and so on. So it's nice just to have the one champion to look at instead of having these 12 champions or 6 champions. You'll just be looking at the one guy and saying, look, that's the champion of the weight. He's the champion of the world. And no one can dispute it.
Definitely is, because it makes it feel like a crystal maze sometimes. You're going, which route am I going to take? You know, who do you have to fight to get there? And it's mental sometimes. And to say, hopefully, you know, when people seem to win all the belts in the division now, they move up. You know, so I know Josh has obviously mentioned going up the welterweight. So
well, I'm hoping that happens as well. Like so there's all sorts of vacant belts.
Put your name down straight away for it. Okay. Obviously, I want to touch on obviously Sean McComb's defeat last month. Sean's been obviously a breath of fresh air since his debut 2.5 years ago. Obviously for Sean, probably as you know as well as I do, that wasn't Sean probably in the ring. Probably a flat performance with everything else. But probably the more impressive thing out of that is his 7-day food blog. Did he get that idea from you with all your cooking?
I don't know. You know what? I think just being in camp so long and being away from good food just drove him insane. So he had that idea, and it was a good idea. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the food vlogs. It got me fucking starving watching them during camp. But yeah, it was good. See, to be honest, I still have it on Instagram. Me and Tyrone McKenna starting up a food thing where I cook, and then he does like it was already like a takeaway kind of thing that Sean had done, and he rated it. And we've done 2 posts, and then I got put in the camp. So I said, look, we'll throw it up after my fight because I'll not be doing any cooking until then. So once this is over, you'll see our Instagram food page come alive. But at the minute there's only 2 posts on it because I've been in camp.
I'm dreading the words because obviously I know what Ewan Tyrone like. He's always a dare, so I'm sure obviously you're going to try and make something as hot as possible and see if you can eat it.
Well, that's I could be on the agenda. There is quite a few things that'll be doing, but at the minute it's just focusing on fight first, and then out and do my food page. I'm also maybe going to do a stout one as well, rating all the stouts of the world, because I didn't realize this until recently. I thought there was Guinness, Beamish, Murphy's, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different stouts, but it turns out there's hundreds of different stouts. So I'm gonna be rating all the different stouts and see what's the best one in the world.
And if there's any stout suppliers out there that want to send you some out for free, even better.
That's it. If you got free stout, get it to my lips.
I'm sure your missus wouldn't be happy if you come back from Dubai and there's big lorry loads of stout waiting for you.
There's already a keg of Guinness in the garage.
It'll be some welcome home party. Obviously, Tommy is out soon now as well, so I think we're now starting to get to probably a busier period of boxing. You know, starting to come into April, clocks going forward, later nights. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of attention on Irish boxers. You know, you've Tommy out in May. I think you've Mick Cullen out the 3rd of April. It's starting to come on the big times, and this last year, obviously with lockdown, Irish boxing's been booming. You know, so you know, potential obviously fights back in the SSE. I know you potentially obviously want to fight Ritson as well. You know, so that could potentially be a fight, you know, down the line end of the year.
100%. I mean, I like Ritson. Ritson's a friendly guy. I talk with him, and I love his style. I'm a fan of Ritson. I love watching his fights. But it is I'm a man that loves to give the fights the fans want to see, and I believe Ritson's one of them. I think he's very fan friendly. I think me fighting him would be very fan friendly. So yeah, that's even if it was in Newcastle rather than the SSC in Belfast, 100%. He brings an unbelievable crowd. But that's a fight that definitely I would love. I think he'd love it as well. He doesn't shy away from fights. So it's definitely a fight that could give me later in the year. Just need to see what way things go. But yep, I mean, Irish boxing is booming at the minute. Tommy McCarthy's got a big fight. Tennyson's got a big fight coming up.
Yeah.
McConnell. So there's massive fights being made. A show in the SSE would be unbelievable if say Sky come over and Tommy on it, Tennyson headline, me on it against Ritson. It'll be an unbelievable show. So smart, Eddie. If you're any smarts, Eddie, get on it.
Definitely. I know everybody's been having the campaign and getting it back. Obviously, one of your stablemates, Gary Culley, he's just living up to his billing. You know, another stoppage win last week, and it was actually printing money. I think the bookies had him at 92 for a stoppage win.
I got a 5-1 on it. It's like Culley's unbelievable. It's like unreal. I hate sparring Gary Culley. It's just a constant, you have to think constantly. It's always a tough spar, but he's unbelievable. He's very, very dedicated. So he's reaping the rewards of how hard he puts it in. He's probably one of the hardest trainers I've been with, and so he deserves everything he gets. That guy came over. He was tipped to be an unbelievable superstar, and then Maxie Hughes beat him. Everyone thought maybe just slapped in. So they still highly rated him. He came over and he absolutely demolished him. He don't think he got landed a punch and got destroyed by Gary Culley and a perfect 1-2 KO. Yeah, Gary Culley's lethal.
And I know he's back in the gym already and he wants more fight news. He just can't wait to keep going.
He won't take a fucking break. I shouted on him last week. I seen it was a day after, 2 days after his fight, and I seen his brother's Instagram. They're all having pints of Guinness, and he was sitting there with a fucking Capri Sun. And I texted him, "What the fuck are you doing? Get off that Capri Sun. Get on the Guinness."
Take a few drinks and obviously, you know, give yourself the reward, because obviously then when you have to put yourself through the pain the next time, it'll be worth it.
You only get a week, maybe 2 weeks maximum, guilt-free drinking and eating shit and not training. So I love that guilt-free 1 or 2 weeks, and then after you start feeling guilty if you do have something bad. So you have to lap that up. That's the time you have to enjoy stuff. But see, boxers, they're so bipolar, or they're never happy. So a boxer will be in camp, they'll be choking for bad food, they'll be choking to drink, they'll hate training, and then once they get their fight over with, they've had a bit of bad food for 1 or 2 days. They hate bad food, they hate drinking, they just want to get back training. So I don't think a boxer is ever happy unless fight night is the only happy they'll have.
Unless they're getting £1 million put into their bank account.
Well,
they'll be happy days as well.
I wouldn't know that yet.
No, it'd be definitely nice. Obviously, Lewis Crocker as well, continues to keep, obviously, living off the hype he's building.
That's what I had Gary Culley knockout and Lewis Crocker on points. And I was just like, this is never going to points. That guy was tough. Mm-hmm. He just can't come forward. And Lewis, I know for a fact, hits hard as fuck. So that guy can take a shot. But he's doing unbelievable. He's looking better and better every fight. He's looking more and more like a pro, like a world title contender pro. He's I don't think he's took one step wrong in the fight game yet. He's always looked better, and he's progressing unbelievably. So I think him and Gary Culley are ready for 2 massive step ups. I think they've passed what stages they need to pass, and now they're ready for a massive test, a big step up.
Definitely, isn't it? I know from speaking to Dee the other day, I think he still reckons that Lewis is only at 30, only seeing 30% of what he has. So if there's another 70% to come, it's mental.
Well, it's 30% that he scars.
It definitely is. Obviously, want to get your thoughts as well, and obviously the end, and obviously the Hilo and Hughes. Obviously, you being obviously a warrior yourself, and obviously live by the shield and sort of die by the shield motto, and Hilo being the same. Strange ending. Obviously, it probably takes away some of the gloss from Maxie's one.
Yeah, I think obviously Hilo's in trouble there in that round, but I don't think he's I don't think he 100% isn't one of the guys that would want to just walk away from fight. He would have continued there. He wanted to continue. I don't think Max Hughes wanted to punch him when he did punch him. Like, he was looking at the referee while he was punching him. Mm-hmm. Like, he was going, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" And then threw a slide leg, which was what it was. But it was all the blame was on the referee. The referee was terrible for that 30 seconds. Halo thought he was getting a count, which is understandable. He's walking the corner, which is understandable. So the referee should have jumped in and said, "Wait, turn around before you start fucking boxing." We just all miscommunication. It's unfortunate for Halo, but he's took it on the chin. He's took it well. Max Hughes, very good fighter as well. Halo didn't complain much. He's a tough man. And respect to Halo. He'll be back.
Definitely is. One I obviously mentioned, obviously, another great success probably you've had for you this year is your beloved Everton.
Yeah, we're flying. We are flying. We're going to finish before Liverpool anyway, which is all that matters to me at the minute.
It's bragging rights, isn't it? Because everybody will be United fans, Liverpool fans, and everything else. So you're sort of going, Liverpool fans have got you.
See my street where I live. All my kids' mates, every single one of their families, Liverpool. They all had the Liverpool flags out on their balconies last year, and all coming in with their Liverpool tops on. And my kid wanted to change from Everton to Liverpool because all his mates were. And I was like, "You can't do this to me, Tyrone." So I think he's loving it this year that Everton's actually doing well. It's good. I'm enjoying watching the fights. Usually last year was just depressing after depressing. This year's I've got a bit of hope and a bit of happiness week in, week out, seeing them win. So more of that.
Definitely isn't. It makes obviously for just not for boxing obviously being good, but obviously your beloved Everton doing well as well. Obviously want to leave you in sort of one last sort of thing. The future for Tyrone McKenna, still obviously the ultimate game to be a world champion.
Yeah, so as I said, win this fight, WBO Inter-Contential top 5, hopefully in the world, and vacated belts. Hopefully, the mandatory of the belt, which is Jack Harrow, can choose me to fight me, which would be unbelievable. I really like Jack Harrow, nice guy, friends him, or would love a tour with him for the world title. So just had to batter Turarov first, and then that's it. That's the big plan. Hopefully get out of this COVID and live life again as well.
Get back into the pub.
Get back in the pub. I mean, I've Sammy bought a fucking pub from the garage because of lockdown. So but I'd rather get in the real pub.
You're right. Obviously, just a final thing, and obviously for all the fans, sort of not being able to tune in. Obviously your thoughts are obviously with the fans that can't get there, but obviously you want them all to be tuning in next Saturday night.
100%. I mean, I've always had good support. A lot of people going to all my fights, even if they're in England or whatnot. There is actually a lot of people who go to Dubai, but they obviously can't. So yeah, I've got a lot of support tuning in. These are all legends. And hopefully people have the victory paintways in the summertime sometime.
We hope.
And hopefully we'll be having the next fight. I mean, hopefully it's the last of COVID and no crowds and stuff. And the next fight, there'll hopefully be crowds again, big nights in Ulster Hall and the SSCA Arena again.
Definitely. Well, look, obviously we know you've got another few interviews and stuff lined up today, and you have to do your packing. I don't want to be blamed for obviously forgetting something when you get to Dubai, but obviously I want to thank you for obviously giving us a chance to interview you 1 week out before your fight, and fingers crossed you're bringing that belt home next week.
You know it, 100%.